What's up, guys? Welcome back to The Educated Barfly. My name is Leandro Demon Riva, and today we're going to be doing a New York Sour. A lot of you are probably going, yay, yay, because a lot of you have been asking me to do a New York Sour, and this will get me into talking about the differences between sours, especially because given that I use egg white in all my sours, it's a little confusing, and somebody actually pointed it out a long time ago. Don't know who it was. Couldn't find the comment. I kind of wanted to have it like right up here, but I can't find the comment, so we're not going to do that. All right, so basically, the sour in general, just the sour category, had emerged in about 1860. The first sour, I believe, was made out of gin. Even though the sour is not one of the old, well, the sour is one of the oldest drinks, but it's not the oldest drink. But according to the brilliant work from David Wondrich, we know that the sour was one of the very first drinks to blow up in popularity, so much so that it was considered, you know, hand in hand with American life. And it spawned a ton of variations. So the three most talked about variations, I guess, would be the whiskey sour, the Boston sour, and the New York sour. And this is how it breaks down. The first whiskey sour was made by doing lemon, simple, bourbon, shaking it, straining it over crushed ice in like a goblet, and there you have your whiskey sour. The Boston sour emerged in about both the Boston sour and the New York sour emerged in the 1890s. And what makes them different is that the introduction to egg white to the whiskey sour is what made it a Boston sour. So a Boston sour is a whiskey sour with the addition of egg white. Now I know I do my whiskey sours with egg white anyway. So when you see my whiskey sour episode, which I will link above, then you'll know that I do it with egg white anyway. But technically, if you want to be pedantic about it, it's actually a Boston sour. And then you garnish the top with bitters. The New York sour is a Boston sour, but instead of garnishing it with bitters, you garnish it with red wine. Now here's the deal. I'm going to open this as we talk because I forgot to open my red wine. But basically, you will notice in old cocktail books, you'll notice in old cocktail books, if you see this recipe, it'll say 1/4 ounce of claret. Now I want to kind of clarify what claret is because a lot of people don't know. Claret is an antiquated British term for Bordeaux or Bordeaux style red wine. That being said, as time evolved and moved on and language evolved, it became a term used to describe any real red wine sort of in the Bordeaux style or any color that made you think of a Bordeaux style red wine. Now, I'm not going to use a Bordeaux style red wine unless this Josh is Bordeaux style. I'm just going to use a red wine that I think's flavor profile pairs very well. But if you want to do this in the most authentic way possible, and I know that is very important for some of you, if you want to do it in the most, you know, you just go and get a wine from Bordeaux, find one that you like. You can get them cheap at Trader Joe's. That's what I got to say about that. I'm going to open this red wine because we need it for the cocktail, and then we're going to get into making the cocktail. Hopefully that wasn't too much of a burden. All right, let's get into it. First thing we're going to do is 3/4 ounce of simple syrup into our tin. 3/4 ounce of lemon. 2 ounces of bourbon. All right, then what we're going to do, we're going to set this here. We're going to bring this big tin in, and we're going to separate our egg white. I do it in the big tin, so if I mess up and get the yolk in there, I haven't ruined my entire cocktail. You could do this in that small tin and just do it first if you want and mix it all together. I prefer not to do that. It's a preference thing. Put that there, combine this. And while we let that sit for a second, I am going to get the egg white off my hands. Now, a lot of people, you're going to be like, well, you didn't wash it. But I'm at home, so come on. There we go. All right, egg white off. Let's give it a good old dry shake. Now, a lot of you guys like to do the reverse dry shake, which is shaking it with ice first, then revert, and then basically reversing the thing. So right now I'm dry shaking. What you'd be doing right now is shaking with ice, and then dry shaking second, people say it gives you a frothier cocktail. I can see the logic behind that, but I haven't found that it really gives you much different results, honestly. So I don't really spend my time doing it. You also want to make sure you get a nice tight seal on here, because if you don't, pressure builds up. See, you can see like a little of the stuff coming out. Pressure builds up on the outside of the tin, and you can have this all over yourself. A lot of people have asked me how you get a good seal, and you just really give it a nice good whack. All right, I think that's enough. Yeah, that's enough. A lot of people go, oh, it pains me to see how many whacks it takes you to get your tin unsealed. But this is just, these tins have a really nice, just a very good seal. And that's why I like using them. Now, I'm gonna clean this off because I don't want to fling this at Marius or the wall or something and damage something. And we're gonna shake with our ice. Now, here's the other thing about shaking with a big rock. Every time I do cocktails with egg white, I always shake with a big rock because you get superior foam. Now, Dave Arnold says you get, wow, I just like squirted myself in the eye. Dave Arnold says that you get you don't get very good dilution. And so he likes to put a little cube of ice. He likes to put a little cube of ice in there to make sure that he gets the proper dilution. I haven't really found that to be a problem, so I don't do it. But the option is there. And the logic is sound. So if you want to do that, do that. All right. And we're going to fine strain. Yeah, perfect. Perfect. I spilled a little, but perfect. And then we're going to dump that in there. Get this out of here. Get that out of there. Then we're just going to do 1/4 of an ounce of red wine. We're just going to float it in there like that. And that's it. There you got it. The New York Sour. Let's taste it. Yeah, you get, it's like you got that whiskey sour flavor. You get all that bourbon and, the bourbon. And you get the bourbon and the lemon and the simple syrup, and it's just perfect. And then you've got that nice sort of wine on the back end. And it gives it just a little je ne sais quoi, fruit, maybe dark fruit flavors. There you have it, my friends. The New York Sour. If you like our videos, definitely hit like and subscribe, and check us out on Patreon at patreon.com/theeducatedbarfly, and I will see you on the next one.